We've got a massive Project K update. I know it's been a long time since I made a video, but that's because really all I want to do is talk about Project K, and there hasn't been a lot of Project K news, but it is finally time to talk about Project K. First of all, let's get the big piece of news out of the way first. Project K is no longer called Project K. Project K was never supposed to be the name of the game. That was just a placeholder name. Now we have the official name for the game, and it is Riftbound. Precisely, it's Riftbound League of Legends trading card game, but Riftbound is what we're going to be calling it. Riftbound didn't just announce its name today. We got a whole production value, I guess trailer is the best way to put it, which I'm going to go over all of the information that came out of that trailer. But first, I want to go over the biggest piece of information, the thing that people have been looking forward to since the very first time we got a sneak peek at Project K. The card frames have been updated. So for reference, this is what the Jinx legend looked like the first time we saw her. The biggest complaint that people had was the white borders. It drew a lot of comparisons to like the One Piece TCG and a lot of the Bandai Namco TCGs. Well, here is what the current version of Jinx looks like. I couldn't be more impressed with the glow up. This is crazy. I love that this is so in your face, but there's actually like so much detail on this card as well. Let's first go over some things you might not have noticed straight away. First of all, they've now changed the set terminology. Previously, it was FND, which I assume the plan was that FND was going to stand for Foundations, but for those who don't know, there was recently a Magic the Gathering set called Foundations, so my guess is that they probably didn't want the exact same terminology there. They didn't actually explicitly say that's the reason they changed it, but that's just like my best guess. But as you can see now, it's OGN for Origins. So our first set's going to be called Origins. If you take a look at the nameplate for Loose Cannon, because this is a Loose Cannon Jinx, you'll see the icons for the two colors that are being represented here. Obviously, in this case, it's Chaotic and Fury, or Chaos and Fury. You can see the Legend tag, meaning that this is a Legend, meaning this doesn't go into your deck. This is like your leader. You start with it in play. And then the Jinx tag, which I think looks so much nicer than the way it looked in the first time we saw the card, because the way it looked in the first time we saw the card, the quote-unquote Jinx tag, to let you know that this was a Jinx card, was like underneath Loose Cannon, and it just looks kind of out of place. But I really like the way this is positioned because it's setting it almost up like a tag or a tribe, or in Hearthstone, I think they call them like races or whatever, just making it very visually distinct, lets you know it's like an important piece of information. Because for those who don't know, this tag, letting you know it's a Jinx card, means a lot of different things mechanically. One, it means that you're able to use any other Jinx, or I should say a unit Jinx, or a champion Jinx, as your partner, meaning it's set aside before the game starts. And then it also means that you're able to use the Jinx signature spells, which is now officially the name of those spells that we had seen with a tag on it. We'll talk about that in just a second. So yeah, very, very cool. I don't know if this will be the case for every card, but I love that there's a little artist signature on the bottom as well, so we know Sugar Free is there. Pretty much all I have to say about Jinx here. I will say, like, one thing that's, I don't know if this is necessarily a bad thing, but like a lot of different places on this card has the same information. Like there's the Fury and Chaos symbol in the top left, which I think is a fantastic position for those. That looks great. And then it's hidden in the nameplate as well, like inside of Loose Cannon, you know, it's a purple-red card. But then it's also in the bottom right. So there's like 3 different places where this information is displayed to you. I'm not really sure why we need all 3. Like, I think the bottom right one could probably go. But I guess the reason they keep the bottom right one there is that's where it's printed on like base cards. So maybe it makes sense. I don't know. I haven't thought about this a lot. Moving on to Victor. Victor got a massive glow up. A lot of people really didn't like that it was Machine Herald Victor the first time around. Now it is Herald of Arcane Victor, or Herald of the Arcane. He's also got a bit of a buff. He now only has a 1-cost ability, and previously it was a 2-cost ability. And right now we're getting our first glimpse at the new Might icon. Previously this was like the Riot Fist, and now it's like a sword kind of smashing into a shield. At least that's the interpretation that I get for it. Or maybe it's like just a sword, and it's kind of like pushing forward, and the thing that I'm interpreting as a shield currently is meant to be just like the force of the swing or whatever. But either way, I think it's a nice looking icon. I will say, I think maybe the first time someone reads this, they might read it as something like defensive. But I guess maybe that makes sense. You want it to be like a shield and a sword icon, because really Might is not really offense or defense. It's kind of both, depending on like the specific thing that's happening in combat. And we can see that this is a Fortige production artwork. I'm gonna be honest, I was kind of starving for Project K news, and they completely blew me away with this latest Riftbound announcement, so I'm over the moon right now. Jumping into Unforgiven Yasuo, this piece looks so nice, man. Now we can move on to our first unit. It's Dead Bloom Predator. Whoa, these cards look so much nicer, man. They absolutely cooked. Now it is worth noting, I think that this is like a full art. I don't think all cards are going to look like this. I think this is like maybe a more rare card. We are seeing that this has the orange or like hexagon shaped rarity symbol. So this is on the rarer end of cards. I'm really curious to see what low rarity cards look like, because I imagine not every card's gonna get this full art treatment. Although maybe I'm wrong, maybe every card just has this full art treatment. He's keeping his Shadow Isles tag. I will say the tags on like normal cards don't look as nice as the tags on Legends. Like if you consider Jinx's tag in the same way that Shadow Isles is a tag for Dreadbloom Predator, Dreadbloom Predator's tag does look a little bit more flat. But I could imagine if it didn't look that way, it might get a bit in the way of artwork. So maybe this is an intentional decision. I could totally see that. So, but yeah, nothing's changed about this card. If you've seen Dead Bloom Predator in the past, you already know what this card does. But seeing this art glow up compared to what it was before is like absolutely crazy. Super Mega Death Rocket is our first signature spell, and I love that they've actually put signature spell on the card. If you look at the old Super Mega Death Rocket, the only way to know that this was like a signature spell or there was something important about this spell that wasn't necessarily displayed to you otherwise was the Jinx text just underneath Super Mega Death Rocket, and you could kind of imply from there, well, oh, this must mean that I need Jinx in play, but you have to do some kind of more mental work than you need to. But saying that this is a signature spell rather than just a spell, I think is a more clear communication to the player that, hey, this is mechanically different than like a normal spell. And the mechanical difference is, of course, that you need Jinx as your legend to be able to cast or be able to put Super Mega Death Rocket in your deck. So that's really nice. And this is kind of framed in a similar way to Dead Bloom Predator, where the tag is a little bit less pronounced than it was on the Legend card. So those are all of the brand new card arts we got. This is the visual direction that cards are going to be going in the future, and I think they did a fantastic job with that. So shout out to the Riot team on delivering this. I had no idea that this announcement was coming today. I was asleep when this happened, so the announcement was actually already around for like 6 hours before I woke up, so kind of rude of them, to be honest. For those curious, I have actually already updated the Tabletop Simulator mod. If you go to the Tabletop Simulator mod, first you'll see Teemo, which is a brand new added card. Oh, it's not brand new, actually. It's actually quite old at this point, but maybe since the last time you played TTS, Teemo wasn't there. But you'll also see that I've now added the alternate arts for, or not the alternate arts, the new arts for Yasuo, Victor, and Jinx, and then also the Super Mega Death Rocket. It's underneath the old art because I didn't want to use it as the main art because it feels like it would be like a little bit out of place compared to the rest of the white borders. So I just put the new artwork under the old artwork, and the same thing there for Dead Bloom Predator. So if you're looking for Tabletop Simulator games, be sure to join our community Discord. You can see the community Discord has been freaking out since the new announcement. We've been chatting, and some of the Riot guys have shown up, so very nice of them to hang out when such an awesome announcement is going on. All of this information I'm giving to you right now came from the latest announcement video that they did going over basically the new card frames, but I want to go over all of that video and everything we can kind of glean from it. So let's jump into it.
How's set 2 going?
Set 2? What are you talking about, set 2? Haven't you seen the player feedback?
These guys keep talking about set 2. They've done it in like every announcement video. Even in the Chinese announcement video, they were just like casually talking about set 2. Stop doing this to me. My heart can't handle it. I need to know more. There is a couple things to note here. First of all, look at all of these sticky notes. There's so many sticky notes. There's like random Easter eggs in here. I'm not gonna go over all of these, but just as like some examples, there's like Project K name question mark, and then there's like Rift Bash, Riftscape, Rift Bash again, like, and then there's like Yasuo with the big X on it and change. So maybe they're gonna balance change Yasuo, or maybe they're just gonna change some of the wording stuff, because I know there were some issues with wording what exactly like attacking means. So maybe that's what that's about. If you see in the background, there's actually like an old card. I assume that this Volibear we're looking at was kind of the first exploration of getting away from the white borders, because it's kind of like a halfway point between the borders that we've seen that I went over towards the beginning of this video and like the old borders. So I imagine we're not going to ever see this. It's kind of cool that we do get a glimpse at it there, though. Look at this magnificent piece of artwork from Dave. Oh my god.
Speaking of playing with friends, let's take a closer look at some of the champions you'll be fighting alongside in Riftbound's first set, Origins.
Origins will launch with over 300 different cards, including pre-constructed decks for some.
Okay, so there's another piece of information that's really exciting. He just said that the Origin set will be over 300 cards, including pre-constructed decks, which means that this Origins number we see on the cards, the 251 out of 298 as the example on Jinx, isn't the entirety of the card pool that we're going to have access to in Origins, because Origins includes some pre-constructed decks that won't have this serial number, because this serial number here that's 251 out of 298, that 298 is just the cards that you can pull in the Origins packs, not all of Origins, because there's going to be some pre-constructed decks that are considered as a part of Origin, but they're not in the packs. So that's really hype. One, because we're getting extra product, and two, it means we're going to have more cards to play with in the first ever set of Project K. Or, I should say, sorry, Riftbound. So this is the first official confirmation of Lee Sin. We don't get to see his card effect because they're cringe and they're hiding it from us. I would have loved to have seen a Lee Sin reveal. As if they didn't reveal Lee Sin. Like, you could have just revealed Lee Sin so we could play with him on Tabletop Simulator. Dave, I assume you're watching this video. Where's our Lee Sin?
Legends will also come in secret rare versions, illustrated by some of Riot's amazing artists in their own style.
Can we show them? I want to show them.
Now, let's let players discover them on their own. We don't want to spoil the surprise.
What? What do you mean, let's let players discover they're on their own? You're not gonna just hold out on us like that. You're not gonna wait until the release of Origins for us to see these, right? You're going to reveal them at some point, right, guys? You're not gonna just tell us that there's like these secret rare versions of Legend cards that look different and not show them to us, right? That's so rude.
But Dave, what if I'm new to TCGs? I remember my first time playing, it was kind of intimidating looking at all these cards.
We've got something just in mind for you, wrapped up in a single package. I'm talking about Proving Grounds. Featuring Lux, Annie, Master Yi, and Garen, this box is a great way to kick off your Riftbound collection. Proving Grounds is designed to get casual or first-time players off the bench and into the game. Bring it to your regular game night, I promise it won't disappoint.
Okay, so we just got +4 Legends confirmed. He didn't explicitly say that these were going to be Legends. It sounds like Proving Grounds is going to be a product that includes or is broken up into like 4 different starter decks, and these starter decks are going to be themed around Lux, Annie, Yi, Garen. And while he didn't explicitly confirm it, I assume Lux, Annie, Yi, and Garen, I nearly said Baron. Baron Nashor confirmed. Lux, Annie, Yi, and Garen are all going to be Legend cards that are built around their deck. Maybe they're not going to be Legend cards, but my interpretation there is that they are going to be Legend cards, because it'd be kind of weird to sell, at least in my opinion, it'd be kind of weird to sell a product based around like a specific card in the way that he's describing, and the card can't be your Legend and your partner. I feel like product-wise, it makes more sense to sell, if the main key selling point is Lux, Annie, Yi, and Garen, from like a consumer perspective, like that's going to be the thing that's on the box. You probably want the thing on the box to be the Legend that you're playing with and the partner that the Legend is entwined with, rather than just say like a champion unit that's in the deck. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, but I'm pretty sure we just got 4 new Legends confirmed, meaning that there are now 16 Legends that we're aware of. If you didn't see my video on this like 3 months ago now, oh my god, time flies. We already know of 12 Legends. Let's see if I can do this from memory. Yasuo, Victor, Volibear, Lee Sin, which we saw earlier here, Leona, Misfortune, Set, Teemo Jinx, obviously, Darius, Ari, and, oh my god, I have to go look. Kaisa was the last one. And then with the addition of Lux, Annie, Yi, and Garen, we now have a total of 16 Legends, which is awesome. That is so many Legends for the first set of Riftbound. So if you've been around Riftbound for a while, you've probably already heard this, but as he just confirmed, China will be getting the game 2025, and so will some English-speaking regions, and then other regions will get the game in 2026. So it sounds like they're still on schedule for that because they keep reiterating it, so that sounds fantastic. And they did explicitly say that they went dark recently over the last few months, so it was a very intentional decision for them to kind of cut off communication. So I expect communication and news to be relatively regular going forward, because it seems like it was a very intentional decision to go dark and really focus in on what they had to do. They also go on to remind us that they're going to be at various Riot events and various tabletop events to get Project K, or I should say, sorry, Riftbound, in as many people's hands as possible before the release. So if you're on your way to, I guess, some tabletop events or some Riot events, keep an eye out for Riftbound because you might be able to play it early. Or if you want to play it early, remember, of course, that there's a tabletop simulator mod and an awesome Discord community that you can come join and play with us as well.
Okay, Dave. For real, what about the set 2 designs?
Oh, those are done.
Dude, there's no way they did that to me. What? Okay, wait, hold on. It's actually so annoying that they keep talking about set 2. Why are they doing this to me? I don't understand why they're doing this to me. Yeah, I mean, look at how many cards there are, man. Why are they doing that to me? Why they could just not do that to me.
And set 3?
Wait, set 3? I gotta get back to work.
They're working on set 3! Oh my god, how rude of them. So here's a surprising last minute addition to this video. Riftbound release date has been leaked, announced. I don't know if this page went live early or something, but from what I understand, this is like a distributor website or whatever. You can pre-order a product for like your actual game store or something. I'll be honest, I don't know how this works, but what we can tell from this is that releases October 2025. This is the Origins booster display. You can see here is the Origins set. You see the Origins logo, and we can see Ari's artwork for the first time. Teemo, Miss Fortune. So yeah, it does look like our speculation on the legends are going to be accurate, just based on what we're seeing here. You can see a Jinx set, an Ari, a Yasuo. These are sleeved booster displays. But yeah, and then we've got champion pre-built decks. We've got a Jinx pre-built, a Victor pre-built, and a Lee Sin pre-built. Looking good. And then if we scroll down, we can see the Proving Ground box set. Oh, we can see what battlefields look like. Oh my god. Holy, new battlefield. I was actually just complaining about this in Discord, that of all the new cards that we got to see, we didn't get to see new battlefields. Oh my god, and new runes. Look at these new runes. Looking nice. Okay, so there's actually quite a bit of information to glean here. One, oh wow, okay, hold on. Maybe it is the case that Lux, Garen, Yi, and Annie are not going to be new legends, because if we look at these, they share the same color combo as people who are already in the Origin set. So, for example, this Lux deck here is using blue-yellow, which we know is Victor. Yi is using orange-green, which we know is Lee Sin. Annie is using red-purple, which we know is Jinx. And Garen is using yellow-orange, which I forget who we were underneath the impression that was. I think that might have been Set. Man, I wonder... Oh man, now I am actually a little bit worried that these are not going to be champions. And that sorry, I'm a little bit worried these aren't going to be legends. These might actually just be champions, because I would expect it to be the case that they would be like face up on the board here somewhere already. But they're not face up on the board here, so... Yeah, I actually don't know what to take away from this. But I love that we're getting new playmats as well. Look at these playmats, looking nice. We have the victory score counters on them as well. Man, these playmats look nice. We might do something on Tabletop Simulator to make our playmats look a bit more like this. Yeah, well, I'll see. Out of the box. But this product is super cheap. This is a $30 product? Wow. $30 product for all of these decks? That's not bad. That's actually kind of crazy cheap, to be honest. Man, I'm so excited to get my hands on some of this stuff. Hey, Riot, if you're watching, send me stuff, man. I want to play with some of this stuff. I want to show it off. All right, we'll end it there. There's not much else to go over on this page, but I'll leave it linked in the description if you're curious. Thank you so much for watching. Keep being awesome, and I'll catch you in the next one.